A few moments later. A few moments later.
Basement or a dark alley, or you're out in the woods and it's kind of pitch black, whatever reason, and you feel like you're being watched, don't you? Like, I don't know about you guys, not always, maybe not as pronounced.
Here's the thing with addiction is that's never say never, because when you're an addict,
not all the time, sometimes
you'll do shit. You know, like I never say, oh, I'll only do that, I'll never do crack. I do. Well, this isn't available, which crack might be. You know what I mean? You gotta do something. So, you know, it's just that's why people say my drug of choice. It's hard to say you're addicted to one thing when you're just addicted to chemicals in your body. Like any other substance is gonna work for you.
I agree with you.
No, I'm well for it.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we like
I feel like that's science. Like that's like full on science, whereas paranormal is definitely not 100%.
Specific porn was brought up, and we can laugh about it, but it's actually a
website or just a Facebook page. How do we find you?
Race in general.
How do you find us? At PITB.com.
Yeah, like you said,
and if you're in Sudbury, we also
the informal definition is enthusiastically devoted to a particular thing or activity.
Like we've been doing it every Friday for 2 years now. Yeah, fun. A little bit of comedy, singing, acting.
I like that. You guys have a.
So I was without my medication for almost 2 years.
What is the word? There's something theatrical way about you, and that's kind of a lot of how I.
So you pull all that in, the miscarriages, the abusive relationships, the horrible. I mean, I would.
You know, it should be required. One of them required credits. And plain and simple.
The shit we do to our kids.
Balancing a checkbook, learning how to do the dishes, learning how to fucking unplug a toilet. You know, the hot and cold knobs. There's certain things that trade schools that we don't learn anymore because we push college. You know what? I don't need to know X minus Y times 7 to the 8th power is
That's how it was growing up in Illinois. Every year.
Justin's gonna just sit here bagging on me the whole time. Every comment that
stay in the comments and do it.
every comment that he's made has been about my fucking glasses.
Like, he knows that I don't watch the comments as much on this one. He's like, everything going on, so he likes it.
I know, right? I would be like, as soon as you got home from school, you did whatever you had to do, start to play, and you fucking chuck the shit on that. Boom! And then you're out so late, it was dark on your ass.
Attitude approach to healthcare rather than
sometimes people
particular
are
set of techniques.
Yeah, I like them. I enjoy it with them. And I'm really into mental health.
We take the lead bag, the big yard lead bag. I only have one of them.
health facility. I was going to
You know what they have now? You know what they have now, guys? Okay, two things. They have trick-or-treating.
And something's up to it. And this seems like it's a place to it. So, I went off, like, they tell you, after going through recovery, I'm an unactive alcoholic.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 49 of People in the Boxes. Once again, I'm going to try this headphoneless tonight, so let me know if there's any audio problems, as you usually do, my awesome fans and viewers. It is Thursday once again, guys. It's 6/22/2023. Awesome to have you guys here tonight. It was very hot today for the second day of summer. Happy second day of summer. Is that a celebration? I don't know. Why not? Should be. Anyway, tonight's episode is near and dear to my heart. It's something that it's kind of got two sides to it, and we're going to get into that tonight. And first we should bring up our lovely co-host, Vanna Stevo.
How's it going there?
Stevo, what's up, man?
Good, man. Good. Number 49, Waylon. I tell you, these are really counting up, getting more interesting week by week. This should be a good episode here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about this type of thing, and this is a good time for us to sort of cross streams on this topic. So we're going to find it. I'm going to play the video for you here in a minute. But before I do, you guys, if you haven't yet, please hit those reaction buttons. Hit that share us out to anywhere that you can, please, and tag some friends in here. Anyone that may have a say or a thought or maybe an opinion on the topic. So as you may know, People in the Boxes is a topic-driven show where we try to bring people together from all over the place, up to 10 people on screen even. And what we do is we try to share our experiences on the common topics, not necessarily to get into a debate over opinion, because that's where you kind of lose people. That's where the arguments happen and the stalemate happens, right? But what you can do is you can share what's happened to you in your life on this or that topic. So for tonight's topic, I'm going to go ahead and play the video first. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you guys stopping through. Please, if anybody wants to come up to help us fill in the boxes tonight, it's going to be just little old Stevo and little old me, wee Stevo and wee me tonight.
Steve.
Okay. Our co-hosts are with us in spirit. Definitely thinking about them tonight. Let me go ahead and put the link out while we're doing this here. So, guys, tonight information. Let's play the video while I'm putting the link out. So hopefully somebody will come up and spend some time with us tonight.
Yeah.
Here it is, guys. The video I put together for tonight. Trust that guy. Yeah, you don't know. He doesn't know. Turn that music down a little bit. Oh yeah, on their phone, Google it. Google that homework. How can you tell? How can you tell what's good, what's bad? You know? Yeah. What do you guys use to decide? Just sort of pick the top answer, you Google it. What do you guys do? Do you guys have a certain website that you like to get your information from? I see that, yeah, that's out there. Forgot that I need to narrate the video with that too. But yeah, today we have information at our fingertips. It's all good.
Your audio's a little low.
How about now?
Perfect.
don't want to move my mic too much because I broke my light today. Very annoying. Keen off some people in the house, guys. I'm going to put the link out. See if anybody wants to come up. Talk information, learning, like where do you learn? You need to find something out.
Rhino wants to come up.
I'm heading to my page now to put the link out. Oh,
I sent it to Rhino. He said he wanted to come out.
All right. I like to pin it on people.
You want the link? Okay, sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
What
do you think of the tune, the tone that was setting? You know.
Hey, that was a good video, man. You really whipped those up too, man. I'm impressed every week. See, guys, I don't usually see him ahead of time either. He likes to show them to me for the first time too. I usually don't get to see him either.
It's fun.
It is fun. I like waiting to see.
That's what I like about the musician intermission on Mondays is I like to get surprised. You know,
right.
In fact, I need to really get a hold of somebody or get a hold of my next one to find out if they're okay. Like I need to like do a midweek check in on the next week's musician. Trying to find female musicians. I actually messaged one. She didn't respond. She probably thought I was being a creep. I was like, try to get a female musician up here.
Yeah.
You know,
10 minutes for $10.
right. No, I don't even think I got to that point, but you know. All right, we got Rasta Rhino. We got Big Jim Pharmacy.
My mouse just died.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
That's not good. Good thing there's not like porn playing or something like that. You know, the mouse dies. And
that's right.
So I'll tell you a quick story. Information wise, we were using this guy's laptop before going overseas, and the guy was doing a presentation for a class. I forget what it was. But he had the laptop open and it was connected to the overhead projector, right? And the funny thing was he started playing something. Do you remember this? I might have told you this, Steve. He started playing something by accident. Turned out to be a home video of him and his wife in front of the class on the overhead projector, you know. And so he's like, he shuts the laptop thinking that's gonna stop it, you know. Nope. And so he starts ripping cords out the back. Funniest noise I ever heard a man make. It was scenario. The funny thing is, I don't remember anything that was on the screen. I don't even think there was anything worth worried about. I think he knew what was coming up or something. Like it was bad. But anyway, tonight it's kind of the similar thing. I mean, like would you get your information from places that you trust, right? That's what we hope that we trust our information. Some people don't care. They just Google it. Top, the top entry is what we get. That's it. Okay, let's go with that, right? I actually don't, from my perspective anyway. I actually scroll down. I try to look at the websites. If it's one that I clearly I know is bullshit from from so many stories I've heard in the past, and it's all my perspective. It's not like I can tell you guys that it's right or wrong. That's why I'm not giving out any website names, but I will tell you that you will find different search results if you go to say DuckDuckGo and then search that on Google, or say the Brave engine. I think there's a lot of search engines out there besides Google. And if you go out there and search something on, and we might do that here in a little bit, actually, search the same thing on two different search engines, and you find out what the search results are. It can be interesting.
I know for me, Waylon, I've had identity theft a couple years ago. Good thing is I'm pretty poor, and I had crappy credit and everything, so they pretty much gave it right back. But they did screw up some things to where I had to go through some processes, and it was a pain in the butt. And I think it was because I went to a bad website and I got hacked somehow. And anymore, if I don't talk to a person, because I'm not very tech savvy, I'll talk to a person first and get information from like you guys or a different subject on someone else, whatever. And I'll get expertise rather than trying to figure it out myself, because if I don't know, I won't go.
That's the problem sometimes, is like if we don't know, we don't have anywhere that we can go, like we'll just take it to something simple like growing cannabis. I get anxiety when I think about, okay, let me go and just research something. Like, okay, whose research do you want to go with? Like, what? Oh my God. Like on almost every aspect of growing cannabis, you can go and find a different opinion or a different way of doing it.
Sure.
So it's hard.
Absolutely.
What's hard is finding the bullshit out there. Like you might find that bro science that you find, especially to grow. Like relate. All of us are growers here, so it's easy to relate that to growing. So, yeah, all that. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, that's okay. Thanks. One of the things that I found amazing is YouTube. Specifically, I want to say, when it comes to information such as I wanted to change a turn signal switch in a 2000 Honda Accord. I typed that exact thing in and I found a video looking at the exact same vehicle, and I knew that it was good information because I could see it from my eyes that it was correct and I was being shown the right way to do it. Let's say. But then if I were to be looking for something on a political opinion, let's say, it would completely depend on what website I would find and whose opinion that the editor was trying to portray at that time.
Right.
So, there's that. I'm just showing the vast difference between what information you're looking for. How it can either be 100% accurate and it for fact, or else it's all opinion, one or the other.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons I said early on that there's sort of two sides to this.
Yeah.
One side is like the just information, right? The other side is sort of like, I hate to say the dirty 3-letter word, but news. Oh, that's a 4-letter word, isn't it? News, like some people. So when I'm trying to find out current events information, which is similar to news, like people sort of misconstrue things. Like, yes, you have that structured, news at 5 or whatever, like on the TV screen. But then there's like news as in current events and finding out what's happening, actually happening. And for me, and I'm just going to give my own, this is what the whole show is about, guys, sharing our experience. So I can't be out here telling you what you should go and do or whatever. But for me, I like to look at multiple sources. And that's exactly where People in the Boxes came from, is that I like to watch, I'm going to start throwing names out there. I'll watch some Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is a avowed socialist. You got what's that? I'll remember that. There's an anarchist guy that I watch sometimes. Tim Pool. I like to watch Tim Pool because he has a lot of people on from different sides of opinions. I like Joe Rogan, even though I don't agree with a lot of Joe Rogan's personal opinions. He has a lot of people on with differing points. Right. That's the point. And to bring people more perspective. That's the thing, is to get more perspective. And so I don't watch just stuff. Yeah, I may happen to lean a certain direction or whatever in my personal opinions, but I don't want to be caught in my own echo chamber. So I watch people from all different directions. I may not agree with anybody, any of them on whatever the topic is. But that's just to give you guys my perspective on sort of the news / current events side of things. I watch a lot of alternative media, a lot of podcasts. That podcasts sort of trickle down information from other shows, and it sort of gets bumped around. And so what happens is you end up hearing certain news publications, certain websites over and over again from different angles, and you find out, oh, that one might be a kind of a decent source because you're hearing people use it from different perspectives as far as political goes. Doesn't mean that it's perfect. It just means that, okay, I'm hearing a lot more people referencing this no matter which side, you know, which direction. What do you think, Jimmy? I see you got the wheels turning.
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy?
When it comes to news and current events, I tend to not trust anybody associated with the American Press Association.
Yeah.
Because they all say the exact same thing. You could.
Have you seen the videos? Yeah, I should find one of those videos where it's just like have you seen this, Steve-O, where it cascades into many different videos or different windows on the screen?
No, show it to me.
All right, let's find it, because I don't see that. I doubt that it would be a copyright claim type of a thing.
Hey, Jimmy, how you feeling tonight, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. Me too.
Thanks to old Drizzle Dab. I got some of his new formulated pain cream and it works amazing.
Oh, great.
Drizzle Dab, people.
I received my full spectrum CBD tincture today from Matt Anderson at your CBD store. And I feel like it's helped me a bit today with some of my cramping and things of that sort.
Oh, right on. CBD definitely helped me. I got a bunch of CBD Fico. And then I got this given to me today, too, from the marijuana maintenance program.
Oh, snap.
That makes this as well, but it's CBD, THC, CBD, and CBN.
Joshua White and those guys are great people over there.
Marijuana maintenance program. I'll have to look them up.
Definitely.
Well, there's a comedy behind that. I'm a person in recovery, so I went to AA for years. I don't so much anymore because I'm comfortable in my recovery.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It'll be 10 years this October. But the thing was I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it, I hate that.
Marijuana maintenance.
Yes. In AA, they kind of frown that you smoke. If you smoke marijuana, it's kind of like they call it, you're on the marijuana maintenance program. So when I heard that name, I kind of giggled a little bit.
Yeah, that's what they call it. And it's helped so many people get off of the recovery drugs that they try to get you addicted to. Like, what is that? Methadone and what else? Suboxone. That's the one. And then they'll
check this out. If you refuse to do methadone or Suboxone, they'll kick you out of the rehab you're in.
They kick you out.
Yeah, I was a alcohol drug counselor for 8 years, and I just recently retired from it because it's kind of like living through my life. So I kind of got out of it. Plus, I have back problems that I'm working on some and stuff. But there's so many bad things that. Speaking of information, going to different places, trying to get correct information on some of these medical assisted treatments. That's what they call it, MAT, medical assisted treatment. And they're starting to introduce cannabis as a medical assisted treatment in Illinois. So hopefully it spreads around for the opioid epidemic. So hopefully that spreads around a lot. But you got to be careful. I know if you want good information on recovery, stuff like that, the website is SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association or something like that. But yeah, that's good.
They have resources then, Rhino, for people, or?
Yeah, if anybody ever needs to get a hold of me for anything in recovery or just to talk, hey, if you just need somebody to talk at 4 o'clock in the morning, you feel like picking up, man, call me. Or message me, whatever. I'll give you my number and we can talk. Not a problem. Anytime, 24/7.
See.
Gee, that's just amazing of you to say something. I mean, that's just great. Ronald, ever since I've known you, I've gotten that vibe from you that, you're an empath and you really seem to give a shit, man. You can tell the real ones, man. You can tell the real ones.
I feel the same about you, my friend.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Wow. Sorry. I didn't realize there was this moment was happening there. I should have kept
Yeah, we just had a bro moment there.
Yeah,
right on.
Your box is closer now. So this is the video that we're talking about here.
responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities, Mid-Michigan communities. We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces. But we are concerned about plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking.
Oh, wow. Now, I have seen this. The volume's gone, Waylon.
Democracy.
Really?
It did for a minute. Now it's back.
It should be sharing the volume in. I shut my mic off. I thought that would help, but I guess
It went dark for a second, and then it came back.
that's from me hitting my mic. That shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, again, me experimenting with my headset off. But you get the gist, right? I don't need to necessarily play the whole thing, but it gets more and more progressive. I think there's another one maybe at the end, possibly. No, that was it. They all just sort of talk again. But yeah, that's just one example.
Get it, Jimmy?
I got him. The video was 5 years old, I think.
Oh, wow.
Let's see.
Yeah, I remember seeing that now. And you know what that represents to me is that it's just showing that, media can be in such a big conglomerate like that to where it could be false information that's being spread just by that group alone of media outlets, sharing the same opinion on these stories. It's what we're fed.
You don't even have to go that nefarious with it. You can just say having that many outlets all being scripted what to say is definitely not giving us a good, well-rounded, variety of news. I realize those were all local news sources for different places, so it's hard to say that because you're not going to see all those other ones. But it is interesting with the internet that we can show that. What's up, Colin? Doctor can get their license revoked for prescribing cannabis because it's illegal. Okay, Kim, where at?
They can or cannot?
Can get their license revoked is what Kim was saying. Karina says news shows you what they want. How about telling the real stories? Right, or just not scripting it so much. I'm very tempted to script some of my shows, all of my shows, really, because I there's a lot of stuff in the beginning that I really need to get out. I need to make sure I remind you guys to hit the like and hit the share and all that. I want to make sure I remind you, to follow us and all that stuff. So it's tempting to line all that up neatly on a piece of paper, right? But over time, that just makes you less, what's the word? Genuine. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Thanks, Rhino. So that's the thing. Like when I'm listening to news or any information, really, a lot of times you'll hear people say things like, this is where I found the information. Don't take it from me. Go do your own research. If I hear someone saying that, typically that to me is a little bit of a sign that they have some character at least. They're not just out there trying to get you to believe whatever it is they say, just because they say it.
They're adding to and not trying to say, "Hey, I know it all." That gives them a little humility. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because you don't, you're at least ruling out the fact that they're trying to glorify themselves for being right about everything. I will say things like, "Well, I believe this," or "I think this," or "I'm pretty sure it's this way." And I try, I'm accused of it too, "Oh, you know it all, this and that." It's like, well, I just think about a little bit about everything, so I have something to say. That doesn't mean that I'm not susceptible to being wrong. You know, if somebody thinks I'm wrong about something, by all means, throw me some information. You know.
Yeah, I've seen you many times. You know, I've been like, ooh, you know, and change it. You know, and you know, once you receive information you didn't have, you know, you've then researched it. I've seen you before. You'll go back to proven wrong. Yeah.
But there are times too, though, where I feel like I'm pretty sure, you know, but you don't have the words to throw out information at people, because this is one of the reasons that this episode is important, is that we all too often will get into arguments with each other over things that we are both seeing different information on. So especially politics, obviously, is a big one. If you're only watching this one source, and your friend, they're only watching this one source, and then you start talking about some current event, some issue that came up, you're going to be on two different planets.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, wow, what? StreamYard, yeah, it's not. Some phones don't like the StreamYard. I think hopefully they're working on it. That's one thing about StreamYard, is that they do update, and they do listen to their customers, I should say.
Yeah, it seems like it.
What?
It all started with sports. Colin, you can drive and conquer and make two separate teams. Well, the distraction no longer one who penned the two together. It's about who is the winner, who's right and who's wrong. Well, yeah, I mean, you could say that sports came from war. You know, the victor goes the spoils, right? The fame.
Sports come from the circus, the Roman model.
Well, wasn't it the Olympics was one of the first big games that was in Greece? Or you're saying it was before that?
Even before that,
the Romans used the circus to pacify people,
make them joy, give them some joy, like just like the tossing
give
out
them
of
something else to think about and heroes to worship other than what's going on today.
Yeah,
like
give a distraction. Jinx owe me a Coke, and that's exactly the problem with information. Where if we're distracted by a headline, because I see it all too often when I watch, like, say, Tim Pool, for example. They'll pull up headlines, and they go over news from all different angles, and they'll pull up a headline, and then they'll read what's inside there, and it's nothing about the headline, or the headline is completely misleading, and so we just don't have the time anymore, it seems like, to actually go through and vet information. So the best way I can say that's why it comes back to watching a little bit of different angles. So I can listen to a podcast much easier than I can sit and read something if I'm busy working or whatever it is, right? I can keep my hands busy while I'm listening to a podcast. Well, the podcaster isn't the reason I'm listening to it. The reason I'm listening to it is because their whole team spends all day scouring all these different articles, right? So I get to, like, piggyback off of the work that they do by listening to the articles that they pulled up. You know, does that make sense? In a small amount of time, I can kind of quickly see the biggest interesting things that group of people thought to put out there. Not necessarily that it's the biggest thing going on. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it's a group of people I tend to like their banter, the back and forth, then I'm going to listen to the articles they pulled up. Now, the articles came from some news organization that may or may not be shiesty, right? Sometimes they pull up the ones from the opposing viewpoints on purpose in order to see get that perspective, get what it is they're saying. We shouldn't be afraid of that, afraid of the side that's saying something different.
And you don't have to like everything either, in that sense. Like you said with Joe Rogan, you may not agree with everything that he says, but the way he does his show, the way he allows opposing viewpoints and things of that sort and handles it in a good manner. Like Ben Shapiro. He's one that people don't like his stark stance on certain things, but at the same time, the man sits there with the facts sometimes that cannot be disputed. So you like some of the things that he does, and then you like other things, you don't like so much about him because he's a little snarky little fucker. You know,
he's not real entertaining necessarily. He's not real entertaining, but he does have some information. That's why. Have you ever watched Jimmy Dore?
I don't know who he is. No.
He's not so much more on the informational side. He's more of like an anarchical, like socialist type of guy. He's a comedian that is on the.
I wrote that down. Is that DOOR, like the door?
You know, I think so.
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore. He's not. I agree with very little of what he says, but I think he's super based as far as speaking truth to power, as far as that, like the actual in the literal sense of the word, because he calls out people of his own side of things, if you will.
Yeah. Cool. And then what about the crazy ones, that everyone knows is insane, but yet has viewership just for the pure fact that it's entertaining? Like even The Onion. Yeah. Isn't The Onion one of those websites or Babylon B?
Babylon B is so funny. Yeah. Jimmy Dore, DORE, by the way, if anyone.
Oh, DORE. Okay.
Yeah, like he's outrageous, but it's a gives you perspective kind of thing. Right. Yeah, I think you're right though. What were you about to say, Steve-O?
Well, like for instance, that website that we just mentioned, the Babylon Bee, it's satire, and I mean, even to the point where like even that Alex Jones character from that InfoWars, everyone knew everything he said was ridiculous, but it was an entertainment show, so you watched it just to hear the next crazy
thing. That's the problem with Alex Jones. He says things crazy in a way, but he actually says a lot of things that are true. That's the thing, is that it gets skipped by people because he is so sensational. Yeah,
that's right.
And it's funny because he's got a whole website of banned information. I think it's banned.video or something like that, but I've never been to it. But there's a lot of information out there on the web being banned, and there are places to still try and find it. I'm not, savvy enough to go venture out into the dark web, but anyway, there is a battle right now. The internet, I believe, was somewhat of a Pandora's box, man. They are definitely wishing they could stuff it back in the box, I think. Put that genie back in the bottle. They wish they could.
There's almost too much information out there.
There is, and that's one tactic to muddy the waters by putting out too much, like
controlling what we
crazy garbage out there. And so one thing I do, and this is another, again, my own opinion. When someone tells me something crazy or outlandish, I think to myself, did my life or did my opinion change of whatever the situation is before and then after what this person just said? If it's information like, so-and-so is really a clone robot alien lizard person, and I'm like, yeah, but what are their policies though? Like, it's like, do I care? Do I like the clone lizard person's policies? Maybe I do. What's up, Facebook user? But my point is, like, if nothing changed before and after, like, the queen was already dead months before. Well, I don't know how that changed anything, beforehand. Like, so there's a lot of information that floats around just to get your attention, just to get you to go, oh, spend a few minutes here and there just to waste your time. I waste my time plenty.
Majority of the information that we are fed is just correct.
Right. Isn't it funny how when it's a big or a political or something that you feel strongly about yourself, you'll be skeptical. But if it's a normal, like if that same news station pops up with some information about like a shooting or like a whatever, like a storm or whatever, some price changes, you're not going to think twice. Like, oh, okay, they said this, and like the little information can be misconstrued as well. And it's scary. It really is. But at the same time, a lot of times there are triggers to looking at false information or We've talked about it before on scams and different episodes for that, like scammers and things like that. We look for typos, and if you're not sure if you're not sure about something, look for a second opinion, even on information. If you find a link in an article, you're like, okay, find it somewhere else too, and see if you can find it in two places at least. It might not mean it's true, but it gives you a slightly better chance, in my opinion, right? Let's have a little smoke here, guys.
Oh yeah.
We usually miss the 7:10 on the West Coast. That's not for another half hour, right? It's 9:10 would be their 7:10.
Yeah.
No, 8. Yeah.
It'd be 9:10 for us for the Westies. Yep.
West Coast is 3 hours before East Coast, right?
Right. We're Central Time here in Illinois.
Yeah, same here.
If anybody wants to come up, let us know.
Illinois.
We got plenty of room. We're just chilling tonight. We are Jason and Melanie list tonight, but they will be back.
Right. I hope
I'm
everything's
just south
okay.
of Decatur.
Yeah, it's all good. We could talk about it later, Jason. Jason.
Yeah, I was having a nice dinner with my son, and I was like 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I got people in the boxes, and we had eaten earlier. Man, we had some bomb cheeseburgers from Omaha Steak Company. They were hamburger patties from there. We had a gift certificate, and we bought 12, and they were so good, guys. Their Omaha steaks are certified for sure. Put that on the list.
I've always wondered that. Thanks, Steve. I've never tried them, but I've heard good stories.
Wow, they were amazing. We got some New York strips and some bacon wrapped fillets, and they were very, very, very good. I don't care for ribeyes because I'm not I don't care for fat much. I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, I like
a nice good porterhouse.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yep, we have T-bones and porterhouse over here.
Yes, sir.
Right. But yeah.
Leaf cycle. He's hungry now.
I guess you guys see what I'm doing. Is it okay to trim on line while I'm here? Well,
why not?
Okay.
It's your medicine.
Yes, sir.
I use it enough on the screen. I don't see how you could affect me in any way from that.
No.
Well, I know I wouldn't want to, or wouldn't worry. Just your show,
Sure. Well, and I've struggled over whether I should keep that off of the show. Try to do the whole pretend thing like most any other podcaster or other TV would do, where they pretend and they don't show it. That it's all behind closed doors. It's all hidden. It's a secret or whatever.
Right.
Instead, I'm going full forward.
You can't see it anyway. It's in his lap.
Well, yeah, for you right now, I don't even see it, but for me, I actually decided, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do so many full-on dabs with the torch and everything on the show. But the little dragon,
that I can see.
Dragon egg, she's cute. She's good.
Yeah, you don't want to portray it all about just sessions. I get that totally.
All right. Pete says cyber warfare. The cyber warfare that I fear the most is when other countries posing as Americans feed misinformation to the American population with hopes of the interest being secured. Bro, we're feeding ourselves misinformation, man.
You can't see.
There's other countries, probably multiple, probably any and all that are capable are probably in our business, just like we're in as many countries' businesses as we can possibly be in. I feel like it's like get it over with. It's almost like get a room already, kind of with the whole world. It's weird because I dislike the whole idea of the one world government, the globalists, how they want to sort of force things to happen. They want the planet to sort of become, and it kind of is on its own in a way, becoming sort of homogenized in a way. But at the same time, I don't like it being forced. But then wouldn't it be easier if, say, the entire planet was like the United States, where every country was then a state, and that's sort of becoming that, other than the propaganda with China and how that's all happening. That's starting to become a whole separate, it's going to be almost like a separate economy, separate world, with several countries banding together, getting off the
NATO.
petrodollar. Yeah, getting off petrodollar. Several countries are doing that. So it's going to end up being, it's going to be really weird, like this sort of like half of the countries going one side, half of the countries going the other side. I don't know. It's an interesting time, you guys. I'm not really scared though, because guess what? It's not normal for things to sit still, As far as information goes, information's always changing,
Yeah, we live in a world of impermanence.
Submarines leap cycle, yeah, the submarine craziness. That was a distraction, wasn't it? Ooh, distraction with the submarine. Maybe there's something else going on, right? Maybe. You never know. But there's also there's a couple things about, as far as information, that I wanted to bring up. You have medical journals and you have accredited sources, or accredited, what's the word? Is it journal? Anyway, if you look into the process, what it takes to write a paper and then get it accredited and get it, fully vetted and everything, it takes a long time. And so it used to be that we didn't see those until they got completely, tried and tried again and tried to be proved false, whatever it is. Like, say, here, you guys are all gonna get this right away. Like when we first started hearing, hot dogs are bad for you, hot dogs are good for you, milk's bad for you, eggs are bad for you, oh, milk's good for you now, cheese is bad for you now, oh, cheese is good for you. You start hearing all of this stuff. And remember, there was a good 10-year, 20-year period where all that started amping up. We started hearing it a lot more often. And what it's been explained to me is that those are the fact that like, say, medical journal may not have something accredited and post and what's the word, published, but the person who's writing the paper can have it out online as a, pre-accredited, like just not like sharing it openly, but just sort of on their, whatever their pages. And so people are paying attention to these changes and what scientists are saying, what the medical industry is saying. They're paying attention to those changes so much faster for a few reasons. You have that sensational, oh, I caught the story first, that we're finding out that a lot of news organizations, they want to be first rather than right, than correct, informationally correct. They just want to be there first. They want to get a statement. So we find all these sources where they rush to conclusions. So I usually wait before I make an opinion about like some big crazy story, right? I don't just jump to conclusions, but that's what they try to get you to do. They want you to, the news organizations, they jump straight to, let me get the first story. I got the scoop on it, right? Anyway, so my whole point though is that when you are going through the process of trying to figure out what to pay attention to, they can get you distracted real quick. So you got to be, I don't know. I like to keep on my toes about what I'm looking at. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hey, Jenny. What's going on?
True domestic too, but I fear foreign manipulation most. Yeah, no, I get that, Pete. I just feel like foreign manipulation is domestic manipulation. Like, if you look into how much land certain countries own in our country, like, I mean, come on, like they're already, it's like we all are intermingled together. Anyway, I feel I lost the point that I was trying to make there, but anyway, it was good. It's a good point. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with, sometimes the way people really do stick to, what they like. When I say impressed, I just mean like I'm impressed with the way, certain groups can stick with certain news organizations, and no matter what they say, That's what it is. And, 90% of the time when I go on to, CNN Thoughts, whatever, you go back and forth, and all you see is just people spouting opinion, just blah, 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 blah. And, everyone could be correct on both sides because it's truly just opinion.
They're spinning the information in such a way that keeps them correct or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's always an agenda, and like right now, one of the tests that I did today in preparation for this episode is I looked for information on this missing submarine, and one of the things I noticed is pretty much every single article that was within the last 8 hours, I believe, is what I was looking for. They were all very the same. They were accurate with each other. So I kind of felt to myself, is this a good test or is this just an anomaly? Because I bet you that for, many other topics, I wouldn't be able to find the same. But I was impressed by the fact that there was, it seemed to be pretty accurate reporting right now across the board from what I checked, because this is an important thing and everyone's interested in it.
Did you see the parts about the banging noise they're hearing down there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
that's what every single article I saw on it today was about.
And then today at 7:08 this morning, they said that all the oxygen supply had to be depleted by then. There was no way that there could be any more, even if they were. But they're suffering hypothermia. They expect because they're. When they lost the power to this little jet ski thing that they were in, they lost their heat and everything. So they've been down there freezing too.
Mm-hmm.
So, damn, those poor people. But you know what, though? It just seems to me that someone needs to be responsible for this and for these people's lives. And, of course, like Dan said yesterday, there's going to be regulation over this now. Not just anybody's going to be able to, make something out of an Xbox controller, charge a shitload of money, and kill people. There's going to be some changes made now to where there's actually, a law about this. I'm sure of it now. President will even get involved and talk about it.
Right. That's the thing, is that they make a story sensational. Make it international headlines or national headlines at least, and then they can use that to say, oh well, we need stricter, something here or there, and like, when's the last time anyone's heard of a story even like this, right? For them to make legislation on it, you know what I mean? These are rich people. There's a rich person that bought the. Was it a Japanese man that was able to go flying around? They flew around the moon, or I forget what.
Orbited the Earth, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
orbited the moon.
Yeah, he went out. I believe he just made orbit, right? Or just got out of our orbit.
I don't know. I don't want to butcher that, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to get to the moon, but not land. It's not land, but yeah. See, there we go.
Three opinions.
But then Google searching it, though, it's like let's do a quick Google search. Go to Google.
That was a Virgin Mobile guy, right?
That's a different guy, though. This was a Japanese billionaire or millionaire that.
And then you got the guy from Amazon that brought William Shatner and all them people up there just out of orbit. Floated around and came back down.
What'd you come up with, Waylon?
Japanese fashion billionaire Yusaku Maezawa has been planning a trip. Okay, so hasn't gotten there yet. To space for a few years. In 2018, Maezawa announced his Dear Moon project, a tourist trip to the moon and back. The plan was to use a SpaceX Starship spacecraft to take a flyby drive around Earth's celestial neighbor. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So it hasn't happened yet, but
what I come up with, it said this time last year, Maezawa took his first space flight in a Soyuz Soyuz spacecraft. The 12-day trip took him to the International Space Station, and it dated December 9th, 2022.
Well, he may have, but this is a planned trip that he has for the moon. So maybe that was his like practice trip up to the ISS.
2 different trips.
Right on. Yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm. I was just wondering what would pop up first, just kind of.
Nice.
I think one big centralized idea here is not to assumptions obviously is one of them, not to make assumptions when you're listening to information. Like when people tell you stuff about whatever's going on in the world, you can take it and you say, okay, all right, this information that the person told me, it sounds interesting or whatever, sounds crazy, but that doesn't mean you have to immediately, believe it or assume that it's right. And so many things out there, we can just leave them up in the air. Like I don't need to have an opinion on everything to just sort of have like this question mark for that item, like say whatever, like an assassination of a certain president, like something like that. Like I don't need to like have my own solid opinion on it to just have like, okay, there's a question mark box on that one. You know what I mean? You just leave that one open for discussion, and the same thing goes for most stuff. Unless it affects you directly in your life, you don't have to have a solid opinion on it.
Exactly.
Anyway, not to ramble. Still trying to think of the point I was coming up with earlier, but multiple perspectives is one of the biggest points for sure, because I gotta have multiple perspectives in order to give myself a better outlook on it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's better to see, different perspectives, even in a situation in life. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's a different thing than getting your news. I realize that, but I just wanted to say that it's a lot easier to see perspective outside of your own perspective sometimes. And,
no, that can be totally a tool. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I was going to say.
I was just talking to speaking to your point about putting yourself in someone else's shoes. When you're trying to find out information, say it's nothing political, nothing earth-shattering, news-shattering. It's some drama, in your like community or something. You don't just go and run away with whatever is being said. You get perspective and you sit back and you listen. You want to find out, okay, well, this is affecting me. Is somebody, something going to come down the pipeline and I have to deal with it later or whatever it is. So information can be a double-edged sword too, because sometimes you have information that you don't want. Like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this information.
I heard a speaker one time say, there's 360 degrees of perception. And in each degree, there's an infinite amount of degrees, because you keep going half and half and half, you'll keep going infinity. But so, having that many different perspectives, I could look at a stop sign and see a stop sign. Steve-O could look at it and see a red octagon. Neither one of us are wrong. It's just different perspectives.
Yeah. When I was at the dealership, I was a service manager and a technician at a Chevy dealer. And that's what I did for 25 years. Yeah, what's up, Chevy? But, we had forums for repairs that we could, if we had tricky ones of weird shit going on or something that we couldn't figure out, we had forums. And I don't know about you guys, but forums for me was like the dark, deep hole of information, to where you go there and all you get is opinion, and there's no fact involved whatsoever other than try this, try that, try this. What do you guys think?
Well,
like three monkeys trying to fuck a football.
I don't like when opinion isn't dressed as opinion. It's like, this is this, and instead of saying things like, well, I think this, or in my opinion, I like to hear that, because it's at least acknowledging that it's like, that's just what I think, not a matter of fact or whatever.
Yeah.
Jimmy, can you hear us?
Yeah, Jason sorry that you couldn't make it. He said he tried to come up and say hello. He says he loves us, but he doesn't have good service.
Much love, Jason.
See you next time, brother.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Lord Lisa Michael.
Hi, Elisa.
I was in his live earlier.
So do you guys remember the card catalog?
Oh, at the library?
Yeah,
I remember.
The Dewey Decimal System.
That's it, bro. That's what it's called. I was racking my brain. I was like, I know this. I know it.
The Dewey Decimal System, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, Dewey. I remember we had to learn that at a very young age. That was one of the first things they taught us in school was how to look shit up at the library, man.
Yeah, right? But I think I only used it a few times, man, ever.
Do they even still have it in the library? I haven't been in the library in forever.
Oh, yeah. Everything's electronic, though, now.
Yeah.
Everything's like, boop, boop, boop. There it is. Aisle A4.
Yeah, you go for the name or the category rather than the Dewey Decimal number.
How about a phone book? When's the last time you had to look up a phone number for like a business or a friend or something, and you had to go through the phone book, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong section. Oh man, you have to go find the right.
Or Yellow Pages,
Yellow Pages, right?
Now
right.
we have this in our area over here. I'm in Central Illinois too, just south of Decatur. Now we have these little books that has all the phone numbers, and then you can go to the name. Like if you got a number that comes up on your phone, you can look that phone number up and look over to the name or business.
Oh,
they call it the White Pages, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Right on, man.
What's up, Joe Kelly? Elisa,
hey,
come up.
Hi, Joe.
They want to come up and share your experience, share your perspective on information, man. Information. What is it that you trust out there? Like Wikipedia? Wikipedia is not a trustworthy place, guys. And I can tell you that, not opinion-wise. Like any person can go through and just change stuff on a Wikipedia article. And if they have one written about you, they can just make shit up.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I didn't know about Wikipedia. I thought it was actually a good resource until I noticed that there was something that was wrong about something one time, and it was about an engine or something. And then someone told me, and then I really never heard that again until recently. You said it again, well, and I was like, oh well, you know.
Joe says she gets her news from the indoor farmer.
Double check your source.
Well, it is all about sources, man. Like, what's your source? That's why when I do read, I read some information on Wednesdays. I try to on GrowFam. I read some news, like we read about the submarine, we read about the forest fire, and I try to always give the website that I'm reading from. Not because I believe everything on this website, but because that way you guys know what it is I'm reading from, and it's not just me saying what the gospel is, you know, hearing the fact.
Or reading the bits and pieces that you want, you know, like some media would do or something, you know, just telling us what you think we want to hear.
Right, like omitting. There are times where the article is really long, so I'm like, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, you know, you guys yeah, like Jimmy, that was interesting reading up about the psilocybin in Illinois. I haven't heard anything back about that law since it was not the law.
Yeah, I still haven't either. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they're waiting on that because it's an election year. You drop that out as like although it's a presidential election, so I guess I don't know. I don't think they would do that for a statewide thing. Just for that, unless they're waiting on the next midterms. Isn't that funny though, as far as what they teach us in school? And part of this was like, that's why I didn't want to just get bogged down on news and politics, because it's all about like learning. Like, I want to know if you guys have an awesome source out there, and maybe I have an awesome source for you. and we can exchange, a place where, hey, I've never had a problem with this site, or hey, I like this site, and that might help somebody out there, find better information. And that's all it's all about. I mean, mingling with each other. So as far as the schoolhouse, though, we used to get a lot of information, but not a ton of stuff that was like useful outside of school, like some of the classic things like balancing the checkbook and stuff like that, and paying the bills, whatever. People, I think, used to have classes like that. Did you have that one, Steve-O?
Yeah.
Economics, yeah.
Yeah, they called it civics when I got into high school, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
A 4-part series, I think, in high school that I took civics. 4 different sections.
It was called social studies, I believe, in elementary school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I had civics and social studies separately.
Yeah, social studies was grade school, civics was high school for me.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Guys, if you want to all jump in on the Indoor Farmer page, we got 8 people hanging out over there. We got 1 person spread out everywhere else. A couple on my profile. If you want to consolidate up, come and find us on the page. And I got 1 person on the People in the Boxes YouTube channel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. YouTube out there, holding down the fort. Let's check in on Rumble. Rumble's been.
But yeah, talking about high school, Waylon, I graduated in 92, and they didn't have a whole lot of computer stuff when I was in high school. So I just started learning computer stuff when I got into counseling, and had to, because of the programs they had at the treatment centers and stuff. And I'm still in a learning process, and that's why I'm real leery about things too, besides the identity theft thing.
Yeah, the only computer stuff we had in high school was like word processing. That was
I remember syntax error.
Yeah, they should have a whole class now on like security on online and through with your computer, not just security for your personal information, but like just computer, virus security, malware, all the different types of things that you have to be worried about when you own a computer. Man, they need to know more of that stuff.
Control Alt Delete was your best friend for years. Remember?
Yeah. There was another one, Fast Break or something like that.
Is it Control F5? No.
Pause break.
Oh, F11. Control F11. I think deletes everything on your computer. Might be that one.
Somebody did it.
Got expelled in 7th grade, Joe. Snap.
Oh shit. That's too bad.
Joe, what do you trust as far as trying to find information? Is it Google? Is it just go straight to the Google? And like we were talking, Steve-O, a lot of people will go to Google, even myself. But then what? What is your angle? Once you go to Google, you've searched something, and there's an art to searching as well, like how you word things. And then once you've searched it, what do you do? Do you search? Do you go down and you find the top search, or do you scroll through? I scroll through several, and I usually never try to pick the top one because that seemed like
I try to go past that line. There's like 3 or 4, and then you'll have a line that goes across. I'll try to go past that, and I was only told that. Yeah. So
I think that's the sponsored line. I think that's where you can, you can go past the videos, and then it gets into the non-sponsored stuff.
If I can't find it on Google, I usually go to YouTube.
I use something
on what it is.
I use something called the Brave browser, and it has its own search engine in it, and it's a separate search engine than Google. So it gives me a way to get like a cross reference on something.
All right.
Search it, especially when I'm trying to find stuff.
All right, we got some bag of chips or something. Somebody opened some shit.
It sounds like you crumpled your phone up into the bag of chips.
I dropped my phone down into a bag of Werther's Originals.
All right. Hell yeah, Jimmy. Good job.
Well,
Caught
Werther's just came out with something that's it's Werther's flavored. What was it? It'll come to me. I just saw it the other day at the store. I was like, "What is it?" It wasn't ice cream. It wasn't
syrup, wasn't it? Syrup?
Maybe Werther's pancake syrup. I don't know. Anyway, it was good. I didn't get it, but it looked good. Yes, I Google and then try to find information that makes sense and does not look like it has a great reason to lie to me.
Rebecca has a good point too. She says that you can watch news across the pond. It's interesting. I wonder if watching how they report about these topics from other countries and compare what they.
I like the BBC.
I've heard that.
That's a good perspective to get. Yeah, I like to get that. And then you also can get like you can get the public perspective, but you can get like the PBS, which I don't like, but they're more of like the, I don't know, they're more like the government perspective, I guess, because they're public broadcast service, so they're more like connected to, I don't know, maybe not because it's for the public, but at the same time, it's
NPR though.
NPR. What am I saying? Well, PBS is public.
What does that mean, NPR?
National Public Radio.
That's just another like Associated Press type of thing.
NPR is not so good either. Yeah, they've been found to, and I'm just going to tell you guys why I don't like them. They've been found to falsify a lot of stories, not falsify, but they all spin it right, but they will put the race to a victim and a perpetrator in stories only when it goes one certain direction. And in all stories where it goes the other direction, they do not. And they were found to be doing that for a long time. And it's just trying. They're trying to push division, to try to sell copies of their whatever it is. Not sell copies, but get people to listen. What's up, Stephanie?
Joe said some sites that sell items may not be a great. Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, that's the other thing is if I'm looking for a review on an item or information on an item. Yeah, I'm usually going to look for something that somebody says about it from elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know the Better Business Bureau is the thing that you have to pay to be part of?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. For the longest time, I always thought, okay, that's a good thing to have. It keeps businesses accountable and whatnot.
And I believe you have to be open a certain amount of time. Sorry, Jim.
Rhino, sorry.
Chamber of Commerce as well.
I think you have to be a business for a certain amount of time also to be in the Better Business Bureau. Because I had a nonprofit organization. We were looking into that, and we weren't old enough.
Did you just go on a boat trip, Steve-O?
Yo! I'll be cutting it a little short tonight.
Oh, that's fun. That's all good. We're just, I just want to hear what other people think. And, thinking about the way information has traveled, I mean, it's so much faster. So that's partly why we think there's so much false information out there. That's not necessarily always the case. It's because we have access to all of it, the good and the bad. It used to be that we would only have access to a certain narrative, I guess, or a certain, even within whatever it is, mathematics, science, anything in it. We had access to one way of thinking from regions of the planet, and now it's like we have access to everybody's way of thinking. We have access to flat Earth and hollow Earth, and we have access to multi-dimensional people, and we have access to like you can go and watch anarchists. You can listen to every different angle of politics out there now. So I encourage people to watch more angles of things, even if you disagree. All the above, says Leaf Cycle. That's right, bro. Link the telephone game as kids. I like the telephone game. Yes, the telephone games for sure. I'm a cheerleader for human rights. All right, Chance. That's right. Okay. Well, that's what I mean, man. This is the type of show that they don't want to have happen, and that's why I feel like it's going to be an uphill battle for us to get more. What's the word? I don't know. Visibility. That's a good word. To get seen and to get to grow as a show, because this is a show I could potentially see being groundbreaking, where you pull people from different perspectives in on major topics and get them to talk it out and see what it is that they went through on the topic, whatever it might be. And right now, yeah, it's mostly my friends, mostly you guys who I find through the show and through the Canna community. But we want to see people who aren't just, Canna friends, but people from all over the place. Like I want to have crazy conversations, kind of like, was it CNN that used to do this, where they would have a panel of people of random different backgrounds, and then they would ask them things. And you'd have these awesome discussions among people that are from way different not crazy, but different
perspectives.
Yeah.
Well, different ranges on the different perspectives, obviously, but the different range on the spectrum. That's the word. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think spectrum. Yeah, millions of people.
And it gives you all different angles, the good and bad, and it gives you an insight of things you might not normally look at. I'm always great. I always love critical or constructive criticism, whether it be on something I'm doing in my grow or what I used to do in my work as a welder and counseling and all the other things in life. Constructive criticism, sometimes, if somebody calls me an asshole, sometimes I might have to stop back and take a look at it and see if I am, being an asshole, and that's just that constructive criticism. I try not to take it as offensive, but sometimes I do, but I'm just human,
Well, and you ever have somebody, and Steve-O and I can probably both attest to this. You ever have somebody come to you with some offensive information, and it's like, a lot of times they just want to see you react. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's somebody that told them something, and it's all this whole game of telephone, like Leaf Cycle says. But it's all about seeing if they can get you to react and stuff. That's why I said when I hear information, I hold on to it. Kind of swish it around in my mouth a little bit, see what I think about it, and then see where the shoe drops eventually, or whatever it is. Like if it's politics, if it's science. All I know for sure is that we do not know everything.
Absolutely.
And we most of the time, the truth is what's that old saying? Jimmy, you might know it. The truth is usually somewhere between what we know and what we think we know, or what we think. Something like that, something along those lines. So it's usually safe to say we don't have all the information on whatever the topic is.
There's three truths: your truth, my truth, and the real truth.
the truth, yeah. Yeah. And see, and I'm somebody who I want to be closer to the truth. I don't want to be the person who just looks like they're correct.
Right.
It might seem like it sometimes. I know I've been accused of it, like I said before, but at the same time, I want to. If you come at me and tell me I'm wrong, and then attack my character, I'll defend myself. But if you come at me in a normal way and say, here, I have some information for you that might discount what you're saying or might change your mind, I want to hear it. Give it to me. Slap me with it.
I want to be a reliable source, and if I don't know, I won't tell you that I do know. I'll help you look it up, but I won't tell you false information that I think that I know.
Might be wrong sometime if you're really sure of something, but you end up being wrong. It happens. But that's different. People out there who are manipulating us. You gotta realize a lot of people have a reason to manipulate, even if it's subconscious.
That's why I use that disclaimer a lot. This is what works for me. If you want to try it, see if it works.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this thing on Facebook with these groups. How most groups say no self-promotion. I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's a social media site. Like, what am I? Should I cover my name up too when I post? Like, like what if someone follows me from a post inside this group? So
right.
It's tough when it comes to that, because I was kicked out of a group for having my Cash App posted on my live stream, and I didn't think that was self promotion.
No,
but they considered
it somebody else sharing it.
Right. Well, it was me. I posted it in the comments, and then, but it was just like that's a tip jar. That's not self promoting, because I have stars turned on as well. But they considered it self promotion, and boom, I was kicked out of the group. Like, well, damn, it's just like straight to that. So, it's one thing. People have to realize there's a range on most things. There's a range in self promotion. There's a range when people come in, and the first thing they say is, "Go follow me here." But instead, if they come in and they say, "Hi, I'm Rhino. How's it going?" You spend time talking to me for a while, and then you throw out your information. Then you
I'm
throw out,
Rhino. Go follow. No, okay, sorry.
Right. Well, no. Like, to me, it's like, come up on the screen, talk for a minute, and then throw out your stuff.
Right. Tell us about you. Don't just throw it up there.
I don't mind promoting people in that way, especially if you're going to be if you're going to participate. If anybody wants to participate, I do have the link pinned in the page, and we want to hear your perspectives. Come on up. You guys want to get together at 9:20 and smoke? Oh shoot, we missed it, Joe Kelly. It's 9:22. We missed 7:10 again. Damn it,
man.
Anyways.
And Waylon, if you ever do anything like on a recovery basis or something like that, hit me up. I'll get up here and talk some more on that too.
Okay. I actually was.
Or mental health.
Yeah, we do a lot of those. We've hit a lot of those on people in the boxes specifically, so I'm not sure when we'll come back to that. We might do a different PTSD episode.
Right on.
We've done PTSD, but not all angles of it.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways of getting it too.
We could do a PTSD with an emphasis on child abuse. A lot of us had rough childhoods, that could be a good one for sure. And, and to bring it back to information, I mean, that's what this show is about. It's not about facts. It's about what's actually happened to someone. I can't argue with your experiences. You might be bullshitting me, right? But that's up to people to do on their own. Like, if there's somebody out there just sort of making up their own life to self-aggrandize, you can't. There's no way to tell that. So, that's why.
Good thing about sharing those experiences, it lets people know that they're not alone, and that's what I love about it.
Yep.
How you grow cannabis? Okay, gonna show off the easy way sleep cycle. Sounds good. Can't join up tonight. Wi-Fi is weak. Okay, no worries. Sitting at that 1 hour and 25 minutes. We may end up. We'll get to the 2 hours. We're fine. Got plenty of time here. Yeah, like I honestly, I do like the internet, but it's also pretty difficult too sometimes to navigate what's happening, and what's happened too with say dating when it comes to information and learning about people. There's so much going on now in the dating realm that is insane, where you have, I mean, wow, I could just go for days on just that topic. You have people. I could use genderless language, because you have people on both sides of the gender aisle doing things like showing off themselves in some sort of a sexy manner, right? And then turning around, making a post about how they're trying to find love. And then at the same time, you have things like dating sites where you know, a man will go through. These are the statistics I was watching on some. What was that show? It'll come to me. But like the men will go on there and then they'll swipe on like every woman, hoping that one will message them. And women can go on there and they can just like they have an inbox full and they can pick, you know, any one of those. And so it's become like the information speed has become a bad thing when it comes to dating and young men's confidence levels. You find out their low testosterone levels too, and that could be due to all kinds of things, nutrition, our you know, different contaminants out there that we've been dealing with. So it's really becoming harder and harder for young, you know, adult men to find dates and find wives and stuff because it pushes back the age. Men that are in their 30s now are the ones finding, you know, the women that would have been matching up with the younger guys. So it's pretty crazy how that's making it, you know, especially the dating apps. You can learn everything you want about someone without ever talking to them. It's like, wow. Messaging back and forth in text form. You don't get emotion. You don't get, you know, what is it? Body language. You're not getting all those cues from someone's eyes and stuff.
And people are meeting like that and getting married. And, that just, you know, I've been married for 20 years. So that word dating just scares the shit out of me. If, you know, something ever happened to Patty that, you know, I had to go back into that scene. And, I mean, of course, I'd venture out there. I'm a guy and everybody's got, you know, guys, gals both have their wants and needs, but there's just that dating scene just scares the hell out of me these days.
Yep. And that's the other problem is that it's too easy for.
Okay, Michelle.
Mike, yeah, brother, I'm down. You know, whenever you want to get started writing, I'll get my quill pen and stuff. I'm down. I'm just kidding. I know Mike's not talking to me. You get emojis. Yeah, emojis. Emojis can help. That's why I use more emojis nowadays to try to convey emotion.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes people take text out of context. A lot of times.
Yeah, and I have a dry sense of humor, so that can be real easy to misconstrue in text form.
Yeah.
And then you have like voice to text where it kind of gets all mismatched a lot of times. People just send it anyway. Whatever happens, send it.
Right. I try to pre-read it, and it don't always help.
Proofread.
I try to also pre-read, but you know what? Sometimes I've watched it happen. I hit send, and it'll change a word as it appears up in like the message bar or the comment.
Yeah. Right afterwards. Yeah, I've seen that too. Here's something about the way information used to travel in cursive language. When's the last time any of you tried to write something in cursive? I tried to write a sentence out in cursive the other day.
That's usually how I write is in cursive. It's easier than picking the pen up anyway and printing. So I just, because I got, my hand shakes a lot. So
I can print well, but I can't write. My handwriting is not very clear. And so I've printed for years. I do still try to do cursive once in a while just to keep it in there in my brain. But
I hadn't in a long time until that recently. I was like, whoa, this is hard.
What about you?
I think the only time I do is when I'm trying to take notes on something.
I've been taking a lot more
writing myself a note, you know?
Yeah.
Remind something.
Yeah, because I can read my handwriting. I just don't think anyone else can.
Bad. Is anyone else hearing an echo?
I'm not. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
How about that? That might help, Michelle. I unhook the audio. I'm trying to do it without the headset, just because.
Does it happen when I talk, Michelle?
I don't hear anything. Elisa says we're good.
Okay.
What do you guys think? If there's an echo, just say echo. Let us know. I'm freaking ripped.
Me too. Like big time.
I'll take my edibles now too. I've been taking them.
2
lately.
thumbs up on this tincture, man. It's got me wrecked.
I sent you a friend request, Michelle.
You know how people used to get perspective at the library is they would get a bunch of books on the subject.
Yeah.
And you'd read through a bunch of them. Because I've been thinking, man, that's annoying. If somebody was like, yeah, go study this or, learn how to grow cannabis or whatever. There's probably, 100 books. I don't know about the library. They may not have
right.
books in the library. There's probably a lot of books for him. And then Leaf Cycle's talking about writing his own book. And like, I know Leaf Cycle personally enough that I would be like, oh, his book's probably pretty good. Let me read that just because I know him. But other than that, it's like, well, who would you pick? Like, you find a good author that writes informational books, It's hard to decide. That's why you check out multiple things. If you think something sounds like bullshit, move on and try the next one, I guess. I don't know.
Take what you need, leave the rest.
Give nothing back. So a lot of times when I Google things during the show, I'll be like, oh, well, here's what Google says, not because instead of saying, oh, well, it's this. I don't want you to think that that's what I believe. It's just that's what came up first, and that's what I'm going to show first, and here you go. There you go. I Google Joe all the time, and Google is always right, so. Now you're okay. Well, I think it maybe it was because the audio I had shared in. That's all. But yeah, cheers everyone. Cheers. This is the last of the grape daiquiri. This grape daiquiri was delicious. I'll tell you that. Delicious. Actually, there might be able to scrape a little bit left out of here. I had a heck of a time trying to clean out my dragon egg today, but I think it's all right.
I've been using this hash pipe for my dabs. I don't know if you guys can see. Look at the reclaim in that thing.
Oh, wow.
If it was liquid form, I could pour it out.
How does that get in there? Isn't it?
Well, it's only got the 3 holes on top. It doesn't have the center one.
Right.
So I guess just do the smoke.
You know what, Rhino? Mine looks almost identical to yours.
Yeah. Quality lube or quality glass.
Yeah, and it has an opal in the.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh yeah, man.
Right on.
We
Great minds think alike.
Almost the same thing we ordered.
Right on. I love doing the my concentrates in it because I get that terpy taste and it tastes really, really fresh and good every time.
And you use the wand?
Yeah.
See, I don't have any luck with it, to tell you the truth. I tried keef in it, and all it did was stick to the wand.
The keef and hash I don't use in there. I like my hash sprinkled on a bowl of flour.
Yeah.
But I'll take my dab and I'll put it in here, and it just tastes amazing.
Oh wow.
With the wand, I don't use anything else in this hash pipe except for dab.
Right on. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I got some batter. I'm gonna give it a whirl.
That's what I'm doing right now. I got a little bit of
Facebook user.
I don't know if you can see it. A little bit of batter. It's purple panty droppers.
Oh,
nice. If you're over on the Rumble, hit that Rumble button, hit that follow, and if you're over anywhere else, guys, do the same thing. Hit those reactions for us.
And I got an extra wand. Did you see that, Steve-O? It's got the Rasta colors on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got one with it's green.
You pick that up your what?
You put that where?
Got him.
In the hole, Waylon. In the hole.
Facebook
Fire in
user.
the hole.
Who are you? You must be over on Waylon Maccabee Gold. Come over to the page. Come over to the page, guys. I just turned that on to hopefully get some more views, some more people to find us over here. Guys, you are not going to want to be missing out on the local stuff coming up, man. I'm going to be the first giveaway will probably be the beginning of the month because that's when I get paid. So let's see, what day is today? The 22nd. Let me look at my clock, my calendar. The calendar. It's going to be Monday the 3rd. No, I'm sorry, Sunday the 2nd. Sunday the 2nd. That's going to be after game night on that Sunday.
I got a reminder on my calendar for 2:00 tomorrow.
What's 2:00 tomorrow?
I don't know if you do that every week, but I just I put it. I forget when you had live on your locals the other day. I had put it.
Okay.
Marked it on my calendar just in case you did it again.
Oh wow. Well, thanks. I'll try to. I got to be honest though. At that, Good
night, Jimmy.
Oh, good night, Jimmy. Yeah, StreamYard wanting to boot you. I know when you get paid, dude. All right, Elisa. All right, touche. Actually, locals pays me all throughout the month. Like whenever people have paid me, I'll get a few bucks here, a few bucks here. My account gets shorter. It's only $5, Elisa May. Come on.
Yeah, I'm far away from getting paid from Facebook, but if I get to that point someday, that's cool. It's not what I'm stepping out to be just yet, but I'd like to turn the Rock the Rhino page into a growing for your recovery page.
Well, and I know with anything, you have to build something up that can make money in order to help those other people. So sure. What I'm doing is I'm going after something that everyone needs, right? Food, nutrition, all that. And then eventually I'll do things like help people with recovery and whatnot like that.
Right on.
Bye, Steve-O.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, Steve-O.
He could have said goodbye. I wouldn't have been upset. Anyway, oh, you're a pro, Lisa. Okay. Well, yeah, it's going to be fun over there. As far as being a member, you get to hash and dash on whenever I do giveaways. You get to join a team on game night, and the teams on game night are now going to be giving away spots in the giveaway. But that's going to be what you win on game night, and so it's all going to be concentrated on. I think I'm going to start with a bear and maybe in one other item we'll give away that first time, just because I need to. I'm also starting my business at the beginning of the month, you guys. It's going to be super exciting. I'm going to be really busy doing that, so I will hopefully do all my shows as usual, but there might be a chance that things may have to go on the back burner because the business is more important. I have to get it off the ground, get some, what's the word? Stability going. Stability before I. All right, Elisa, come on now. No, I'll still be doing all my shows, I'm sure. Probably won't be staying on as long. Maybe that might be a few other differences. Please do. Not talking about BJ's. Joe, I'm not sure what you're talking about over there. She's not a pro like Joe. Pro locals. Yeah, well, pro members are $5. You get 3 spots on the wheel. If you go to the Super Pro, you get 6 spots on the wheel. That's $10.
I got the $5.
Hey, you get 3 spots, and then you might win spots if you participate in game night. That's where I'm adding in the chance for people that aren't in locals to be able to still get on the wheel.
What night's game night?
Sunday. Every Sunday, 5:30. I didn't do last Sunday because of Father's Day, but yeah, I mean, you're welcome to play. The player, what I'm gonna do is the player and the team are both going to be in the same wheel if they win. It's been back and forth with certain things, but it's been kind of hard to find players. So.
And is that your locals or is that on here?
It's on here. It's on here. It's mainly to promote locals. It's a way to give back. It's a way to do giveaways without just doing a spin wheel. It's actually finding getting prizes, and let's play a game. Let's have gladiator players, and the players then have the audience members join the teams, spread out into teams, and then whichever team wins, they get the wheel for the prize. That's how I've been doing it.
Okay, cool.
But it's been very annoying trying to get prizes as far as the shipping, and then also the some people have donated prizes, and that's been difficult here and there to get that to follow through. So I'm just going to move to this system where I'm going to be buying some items like from Luca, from Happy Hippie Head Shop, and I'll be shipping those out directly to people from those websites as the locals giveaway. Anyway, not trying to confuse things, but you'll see how it goes as it goes. It doesn't matter other than the fact that you're not going to want to miss out. That's all I'm saying, guys. If you're out there, you know what I'm talking about. At least I look at the chats, just Elisa and Joe, for like a whole page and a half.
Well, if Girl Fam or Girl Fam Homestead or just Whalen on your own thing, if I seeing you guys live, I try to hit it up because it's usually interesting some way or another.
All the Grow Fam lineup, man, they're all working hard to find ways to make their shows better. You got Master Roshi Mondays, you got Talk It Out Tuesdays with Purple Harris, Chris Fisher. You got me on Wednesdays. I'm thinking of changing my name on the Wednesday show though. It's called Whalen Wednesday. I feel like maybe it's just too pretentious, and that's why people aren't wanting to go. Like, it wasn't my idea. Ash thought that was a good name. I'm like, all right, I'll go with it. But maybe that's it. What's up, Kasia?
Hi, Kasia.
Feel free to come up, guys. We have about 20 minutes left, and then I'm going to get going. Amateur Pro or Pro Max? Get you some. Pro Max. That's what I should call it, Elisa May. So the basic is called the Seahorse, and then you have the Seahorse Pro, and then there's the Seahorse Pro Max. So Rhino's a Seahorse Pro. Joe and Elisa are Seahorse Pros. Kasia is a Seahorse Pro Max, though.
Ooh.
Kasia is the Seahorse Pro Max.
We had one of them seahorses, but I think the wife lost it or left it somewhere. We went camping or something like that, or out swimming somewhere, and she left it there. She used it more than I did.
I have a few of them. I have the Seahorse X and the Seahorse Max.
I want to get me one of them dragon eggs. I've tried a friend of mine's, and it was nice and smooth. Even it didn't have water in it.
Canifest camping trip tomorrow. That sounds fun, Kasia. Take some pictures and then come show us on the review show next week.
Hell yeah.
That'll be fun.
Illinois Stoners has one of those coming up soon.
Pro Max, I'm cheap. You just got the egg. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen you hit it yet, Joe. I haven't seen you hit it yet. I'll hit mine.
Yeah, Joe.
Cheers.
Good deal. Excuse me.
Freshly cleaned. Beautiful.
I've been wanting to get a little dab rig. I have COPD, so I usually just use a nectar collector or that hash pipe. But sometimes I like to do a dab rig. But
don't you need water filtration? Wouldn't that help you with the COPD?
Yeah, that's why I want to get a dab rig. See if it's going to be smoother with a percolator in there.
You could try the what do you call it? What's it called? The thingamajig that everybody was getting for a little while. The smoke freezer. The smoke freezer. Have you heard of it?
I've seen this thing with a cone that looks like it'd be pretty cool.
This is a thing that's like it cools down the smoke, super cold.
Oh wow!
There was a monorail salesman that was coming through all the community groups, and he was selling this addition to it. All these like pieces added onto it. It's called the Anyway, it's a thing that I actually tried it. It wasn't bad. It was real cold. It wasn't like going through water though. There's no water. It's just like going through like a freezer, smoke freezer. Yeah. Joe says, I don't recommend that freezer, but if you want one, I have one I will sell. Oh, okay. So you don't like it, Joe? What didn't you like about it?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask.
What didn't you tell us, Joe?
Give us a review, Joe.
Give us the information.
Yeah.
This is how I learn, Actually, one way I learn is I talk to people, and when I hear of something, then I can do a little more research on it. If I think, I don't think that's right,
Yeah.
We go do some research on it.
And also, you can look in reviews and see if that same problem's happening with a lot of people across the board.
That's a good call too. Reviews are a good way to find a general consensus on certain things.
Because like I've heard, there's been issues with them dragon eggs with the older versions, but if you buy the newer coils to go in or whatever, that it works better. That's just hearsay. So
Interesting. Well, I have this coil in there that's like it's a conservation type coil. I forget which number it was, but you use very little product as you're going through it. It's very efficient, I should say. All right, guys, I'm going to start this. I'm going to do an actual dab here for you guys. Towards the end of the show, 1 minute to go here on the heat process. And then we'll probably get out of here. Yeah, I don't know. Like I want more people's perspectives, because I could talk the whole time about how I get informed or whatever, but
right.
That's what I want. I want that mix of
the diversity of opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. Diversity of experience.
Is my torch loud?
Not super loud, not that I know of, but 15 seconds to go.
About as long as it'll take me.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious. It's funny talking to a non-cannabis user, and they think that this is all like for show. This is a big apparatus and all. It's all for the filtration effect, the larger amount that you can intake at one time. When it comes to information, the more you have, the better. Even if you have a little bit of misinformation within that, you have more perspective. But when it comes to cannabis, like, the information is out there now, but it was being, I wouldn't say being kept from people, but the stigma around it with legality made it difficult for people to want to look into.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's tried the CBD gummies, but didn't say that. She said they didn't do anything for her, so she gave up. And I'm like, well, maybe try 2 next time instead.
Right. Yeah, I have a friend that his cancer might be coming back, and I suggested using RSO, and he's like, well, I don't want to walk around like a stone. He's like 73 or 4. He said, I don't want to walk around stone. I said, well, you can take something like that at night, before you go to bed. It might help you sleep and help with some pain. And I said, look into it, talk to your doctor and see if there's any kind of allergies. I said, but do some research and see if that's something you'd be wanting to do. If you do, then I could try to make some for you.
Nice. Well, that's awfully nice of you. Now, Lisa May, on the other end of the spectrum of niceness, basically says my topics aren't interesting. Well, they're not interesting because I'm not getting enough diverse opinions on them. But that's okay, though. I imagine doing this show by myself, if if I have to. It's all good. You guys are here, right? You're the ones here. So who's interesting now?
And you're right, though, having diverse, different opinions, it makes the conversation go to different depths that, it wouldn't normally go with just one or two people.
Well, that's the whole point of the show. Like, so there's a lot of podcasts out there where it's like, well, let's just come up with a really interesting topic, right? Well, then they have to do research on the topic, have to maybe read a book or whatever. This show doesn't work off of that. It works off of what you have experienced in your life already.
Right.
On the topic. So the topic can be very mundane, but once you get differences of experience on that, that's where the interesting part comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe tonight wasn't so interesting because a lot of us agreed on a lot of it. That could be the difference. Who knows? But you'll have that. Also, we were missing some people, so it's all good. But we used to get 10 people on here, no problem. And that can be difficult to handle with a lot of people, but at the same time, it can make for, a lot of perspective, right?
Right.
Oh, boy. Well, it's been a good week, you guys. Appreciate everyone's participation through the week. You'll find me on mine. You'll find me on Rumble. Check out my locals. Check out Rhino. What's your group name, Rhino?
Rasta Rhino, and then
group name
is the page name.
Oh, you don't have a group?
No, the group. I'm actually an admin in Homegrown with Love group. And we're trying to be a grow group, kind of like that. We try to leave out all the BS and stuff like that, and try to stick to growing and seed promotions and stuff like that. I saw
you up there with Leaf Cycle earlier, so I see that you're getting out there, and I wish you all the luck. And I don't know what your reasons are, but sounds like you're doing something that has to do with recovery and helping people. So as long as you have a reason, man, that's more power to you. A lot of people get sucked into it that looks like they have no reason to be. There's no reason to be out here other than, hey, this is fun,
Right. And that's the way it started before. But when I started the page, I wanted it to be something that, to promote people. Anybody can grow, and you can do it for your own recovery, whether it be for addictions, mental health, or physical health.
Did you tell me before, do you grow anything other than cannabis?
No, but I'd like to look into mushrooms someday.
Oh, wow. You went straight. That one, I was not expecting that one. Straight to the.
Oh.
So, Ivan, is that? I meant like food. You ever thought about growing food?
Yeah, we had our yard. We live in a farm in a farmhouse on a lot, and it's surrounded by farm field. And we planted a garden last year in one area on our yard, but I think the chemicals from the farm field killed it. So we have another side of the yard that we're going to try maybe next year, but we might be moving within the year. So we haven't really put one up this year. And because we could be going over to Missouri and going off grid, and that's another story in itself. So we haven't really started one, but if we do stick around here next summer, then we're going to start one on the other side of the yard where there's trees blocking the field. That way the chemical overspray doesn't kind of come over to our garden. We're just going to try that out. But other than that, I keep everything indoors.
Okay.
Just cannabis for right now.
Well, I'm here to be the gateway drug for the cannabis growers into the food growing. That's who I am. I'm the gateway drug.
Hey, date away.
Well, but see, this is the thing, guys. This topic may have seemed a little bit blah at times, but that's the whole reason I made the show, is because information and how we learn is important. And right now we're being taught to, no politics, no medical talk now, no religion talk and stuff like that. And when we have less conversations about stuff openly with each other, and that's what this show is, then we have more problems of like open hate for no reason, and we just start to develop these like rifts between people when there's no dialogue. You know, I would love for this show to become something where people can hash out their beef on the show. You know, it would be interesting, but that's, you know, I don't know how that would work into things. We'll see. But I do have 3 co-hosts, and they do what they can. Hopefully, I can, you know, get some input, and we'll fix some things, build some new stuff for the show. And anybody that wants to be a co-host is welcome to, as long as they can commit, you know, to coming. But I'm looking for more people to be more solid. You know, every week, people in the box for sure. Let me know, guys. A couple minutes to go here.
I'll talk more about that. I'd be interested down the line. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, when I mentioned moving off grid, you know, over to Missouri, when we do, we're gonna live off the land. You know, we want to build a home off the trees, off that land, and stuff like that, and live completely, pretty much, I would say, not completely off grid. We want to get some solar panels and stuff, so we do still want to have some kind of internet and stuff like that, so I can still do lives and stuff like that.
Kind of have to have internet for certain things, especially if you want to make money at home. You can do that, but yeah, that's one way to not have to work for a big company now, is because of the speed at which information travels. You can work at home. Need to get Hobbies the puppet on. Yeah, I think he came up at some point, but I mean, I don't know. He, like, as long as he has a perspective on the topic, you know.
He's knowledgeable about growing. He really is.
I'm open to anybody coming on this show. That's why the topics are generic, because the show they're supposed to be open to anyone being able to discuss them, right? Anyone can come in and tell me how it is that they learn, and how it is that they find information, and what do they find incredible. That's why those topics are like that. If I went into something very specific that was some highly interesting topic, very few people could come in and discuss it, you know. So that's the option. That's the back and forth, because I want to have more people in on the conversation, not less.
Right. Otherwise, it just turns into an interview.
Right.
Which is good too sometimes, you know.
Yeah, and you know, and I've actually thought about doing interviews. I want to do an interview show as well, but I can't do any of that until it makes sense. And once the business gets started, then all of this is getting put into that business, and then on top of the food and everything, so it'll all be rolled into one. And Maccabee's Live Market, guys, coming at you July 1st. Just wait. I won't have anything to like ship out to you, so don't get. Although I do have shirts for sale if anybody's interested. This shirt here from the 420 event is still for sale. $20. It's got the Mason City limits information and stuff back there. It's got the indoor farmer with certified, the certified logo, and it also says VIP on the fish tank here. VIP. So if anybody's interested in those, let me know. Let me know if you're interested in one of those to help out the cause, get that business going. It's going to be like $400 for a year's worth of insurance. So it'll be that's actually not too bad. I don't think not too bad. Need to do a show about alcoholism. We did actually do a show on addiction, and we talked about a lot about alcoholism that show. I encourage people to go back and look for it, because we actually found ourselves, we had a lot of people on the screen, and a lot of us found ourselves ganging up on one person, sort of, not in like a super angry way, but like in like a interventionist way almost. And we had to stop, and we had to take that back for a minute, like, whoa, you know.
That was my drug of choice.
Right. So, yeah, so we actually stopped, and we evaluated the fact that we all sort of kind of not sort of ganged up on him, I guess is the word, but we didn't really, wasn't that, you know, intense. But it was a good episode. We had a couple of alcoholics on the episode drinking and, being open about it and talking about, their problems, and all of us discussing any different issues about addiction. So it was a very good one. People in the boxes. I can't remember what number it was, but it would be in the title for it.
I'm gonna look that up. That sounds interesting.
It was good, and actually we used it as part of the intro. So, guys, we're at that 2-hour mark. All right, I'm gonna puff this one more time. I'll get out of here. It's been a great episode. Thank you all for coming. Have a great weekend. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Waylon, always a pleasure to come up and hang out, buddy.
Rhino, in case you're interested, this Sunday we're going to be playing Wheel of Fortune Bingo. Wheel of Fortune Bingo. We may be having a new sponsor soon. We do have a new sponsor in Leaf Cycle sponsoring us with the pest pouches. Of course, we have our awesome sponsors, Grow Fam, True Healthcare and Wellness, Great River Mushroom, Soil Focus Farms, and we might be having a new one here soon. Hydro Farm as well. Hydro Farm with their light they sent me. It's doing really awesome. All my plants are loving it. So Sunday night, it should be fun. Going to play it's tournament style with the Wheel of Fortune Bingo. It's 1-on-1, so we'll do a tournament bracket and play that way.
I'll try to be there. I wrote it down, but I am a smoker, so.
Right. No, if you're taking notes that I don't see anyone else taking, so you're already ahead of the game. But with that being said, got anything to say, brother? Actually, you know what? While we're on the topic, I got to put the new outro in here. Guys, let me know what you think about this new outro. It's loading in now. Give it a minute.
No, just give me a follow if you guys could. That's all.
Follow Rasta Rhino, guys. He sounds like he's trying to do good things. He's working on. I mean, it's not all about just doing good things. Like you're trying to build something. You're trying to build a following, but you want to use that to help people recover and to get off of worse substances. All right.
Absolutely.
A lot like Josh on the marijuana maintenance program.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It's processing. You guys might enjoy it. It's going to make you yearn for the show to come back on. All right, Rhino, thanks a lot, brother. Talk to me if you have any questions about any of that stuff. Heading to bed. All right, Pete, thanks a lot for hanging out. You guys appreciate it. Thank you again. Have a good weekend. Indoor Farmer Game Night, Sunday night, 5:30 Central Time. Come back and see us. Thanks.